Texas TV at COMPUTEX 2009, and I'm talking to Jim Carlton, who's the VP of Marketing for Corsair. Hi, Jim.
Hi, how are you?
Very, very well, thanks.
Good.
So you're VP of Marketing for Corsair. How long have you been in that position?
I joined the company in September, so
Okay.
8 months and
Relatively
a little bit. Yeah,
okay.
relatively new.
So how's it been so far?
You know, it's been great. It's been a crazy ride, but you know, I sort of started, and then the economy went downhill. I certainly hope there's no correlation, but hope I wasn't the causative agent for that.
Tempted to take that personally.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's been good. It's been a great ride. We're advancing the company into a lot of new product areas. That's a lot of fun, and bringing up the marketing organization, and it's a great challenge. I'm having a great time.
So you've been in sort of technology marketing for quite a while, is that correct?
Pretty much since God was a kid, yeah. About 20 some odd years.
Okay, fair enough. And I was talking to the CEO Andy Paul just before I spoke to you.
Yes.
And he's explaining how you've been diversifying quite a lot in sort of product type. Everyone knows Corsair historically as a memory maker, but there's PSUs, there's solid state drives, there's cases, that sort of thing. Can you tell me a little bit about the sort of specific roles of marketing each of those product types? Sure.
So the diversification has a lot to do with our customers. So our customers, the real core Corsair audience, right? The performance enthusiast hardcore game crowd, they have a lot of trust in our brand, and they have a lot of needs. They need cases, they need great systems, they need great power supplies. You know, they're spending thousands on kit. Yeah. They need to make sure that the power supply is not going to waste that by blowing up and shorting a few of those components out, right? So diversification is a very natural process for us. Our customers have an expectation for what we deliver, so the biggest challenge is making sure that the product always meets that, because it only takes one really shabby product to wreck that.
Yeah, so a brand potentially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So focusing on the PSUs, for example, just the relentless drive that we have towards making sure they're super high quality, that they're going to meet all the performance specs, temperature ratings, all of the noise and ripple specs, all of that. It's just, we can't make some of the compromises that would make it less expensive or easier to bring to market faster, things like that. Yeah. And it's a great challenge to have. It's great to have a brand that you have to protect. It's much harder to try and build a brand when you've started your life just with an image of cheap or an image of
indeed,
schlocky. So
yeah, it's hard to evolve into an image of quality.
Yes, from that. Yeah. But when you start from quality, the hardest challenge is staying on that quality.
Right. Okay. And all these product types, to me, and I'm saying this, happy to be corrected by you, seem to be aimed at the sort of high-end desktop market. But a lot of people seem to be diagnosing that the desktop market as being in decline, certainly relative to notebooks. Firstly, do you think that presumption's true? And secondly, how does that affect your business?
So the presumption is absolutely, utterly true when it comes to business desktops, when it comes to desktops in the home for general use, for managing your checkbook, surfing the internet, checking email.
Level type of ones.
Absolutely. Yeah. The desktop is dead, long live the notebook in those categories, right? However, in the enthusiast space, the enthusiast space simply doesn't work in any format today other than a desktop. Yeah. Sure, there are gaming laptops, and they're great for you to bring on your hotel trip to play, but you're never going to get the full frame rate on Crisis. You're not going to meet what your real focus is with that hardcore machine. So I think with the advent of the Core i7 processor and platform and the new Phenom 2 platform from AMD, the enthusiast just keeps building more desktops. Right. That core group of folks who value that, I think that section's actually growing in terms of desktops. I'm sure they're buying lots of notebooks as well for email and class and everything else, but when it comes to the gaming and when it comes to the real performance work, it's all on the desktop.
Yeah, and I guess the sort of proportion of the population that has the knowledge and inclination to do a bit of DIY sort of desktop building is growing as well, yeah?
Sure, absolutely. When I was a kid, which was a long time ago, we tore apart cars. We did. I predate computers in terms of my teenage years. Okay. So our hobby was tearing apart cars. Yeah. My eldest son and all of his friends, their hobby is tearing apart computers. Right. Where I played on a Ford 289, they're down in the guts of a Core i7. Right. So
okay.
Yeah.
That must be quite handy for him to have you as a dad then.
Yeah, it certainly helps a little. He doesn't have to pay retail for everything, which is good. So.
Okay, just before we finish off, at the start you spoke about the we presume coincidence of a global recession starting when you started at Corsair. Right. Just want to ask what it's been like, what sort of unique features you found of being an executive in marketing, trying to trade during this sort of unprecedented global recession.
Right. So I think the biggest challenge we face is that everybody's a little more careful about their spend, their dollars. So making sure that we continue to provide the highest quality and hit the value price points that the shopper really wants to get to, right? Used to be that, well, what's the difference between $99 and $129 or 79 pounds and 99 pounds when your credit card company just gave you a 50% increase in your limit, it didn't matter much. But in the recession that we're in, with the spending being more careful, it's hard to make sure you keep your quality up because it's easy to compromise that to get your price point down. But on the flip side of that, the dollars people do spend, they really want to focus on quality. They really want to focus on having the parts that give them the best value for every dollar. And I think that's where Corsair, we're experiencing remarkable growth in some of our categories, especially PSUs, for example. Right. And a large part of that is they're very good performance to value. They're not the most expensive, they're not the cheapest, but they are the best quality. So it's good value for money. And I think that's been a hallmark of Corsair, and in a recession, that just, that's, people will come back, in a sense, they'll come back to us because they've known us for that for years.
So they're defining value not just on price, but on the actual sort of durability, reliability, quality. That sort of thing.
Absolutely. Parts are going to have to last you a little bit longer, right? Because you just don't have the free cash to sort of turn them out faster and faster. So a little less experimentation with crazy brands that may or may not last forever, or crazy products. They're going back to that kind of core value, I think.
Okay, that's great.
All right.
Thank you very much for your time,
Thank
Jim.
you much.
Great speaking to you.
Yeah.
I was talking to Jim Carlton, who's the VP of Marketing at Corsair. You're watching Hexus TV at COMPUTEX 2009.